Centuries ago, the authority who defended Sufism and challenged philosophy, Al-Ghazali. In the same era, the bold philosopher who sought to reconcile reason and faith, Ibn Rushd. Two Islamic thinkers, two different visions. Why did these great scholars clash? Which one left a greater legacy in history? Let's explore. In the 11th century, an intellectual earthquake shook the Islamic world. At its epicenter stood two giants, Al-Ghazali and Ibn Rushd. Born in 1058 in Tus, Iran, Abu Hamid Muhammad ibn Muhammad al-Ghazali grew into one of the brightest minds of his time. He would earn the title Proof of Islam. Reaching the pinnacle of Islamic sciences at a young age, Al-Ghazali began studying philosophy. But what he saw deeply troubled him. Philosophers claimed reason could explain everything. This was dangerous. Al-Ghazali believed Greek philosophy, highly respected in the Islamic world, actually threatened religion. Aristotelian logic seemed to limit God's will. This was unacceptable. In 1091, Al-Ghazali became head of the Nizamiya Madrasa in Baghdad. He had reached the most prestigious academic position. Thousands of students flocked to hear his lectures. But at the peak of his career, Al-Ghazali experienced a spiritual crisis. He began doubting whether the knowledge he taught was truly correct. The growing emptiness inside was consuming him. In 1095, Al-Ghazali froze in the middle of a lecture one day. He couldn't speak, he couldn't swallow. He abandoned his prestigious position and left Baghdad. Everyone was shocked. For 10 years, Al-Ghazali lived like a Sufi dervish. He wandered the roads in Damascus, Jerusalem, and Mecca. He left behind wealth, fame, and academic career. He was only seeking God. During this spiritual journey, Al-Ghazali also clarified his thoughts on philosophy. Reason alone cannot find truth, he said. The heart and spiritual experience are necessary. In 1105, Al-Ghazali returned to his home in Tus and began writing. During this period, he penned The Revival of the Religious Sciences, a magnificent 4-volume work. The Revival wasn't just a book, it was a revolutionary work that systematized Sufism in Islam, placing heart and soul education at its center, Al-Ghazali's masterpiece. But Al-Ghazali's most controversial work was another one, The Incoherence of the Philosophers. In this book, Al-Ghazali fiercely criticized Islamic philosophers. According to Al-Ghazali, philosophy led to disbelief in 3 areas, claiming the universe is eternal, asserting God has universal but not particular knowledge, and denying bodily resurrection. But was there anyone who dared to challenge Al-Ghazali's powerful influence? Yes, and he lived at the western edge of the Islamic world, in Al-Andalus. Al-Ghazali's attack mobilized philosophy's defenders. A young scholar raised in Andalus decided to respond to Al-Ghazali. His name was Ibn Rushd. The Latins would know him as Averroes. He was born in Córdoba in 1126. His family name was synonymous with justice. His grandfather and father were the city's most respected judges. He learned justice and wisdom from infancy. In his youth, he learned everything: jurisprudence, medicine, mathematics, astronomy. But he loved philosophy most. He read Aristotle's works day and night, studying until he memorized every line. Caliph Abu Yaqub Yusuf summoned him to his palace. He asked him to translate and interpret Aristotle's works. For Ibn Rushd, this was a turning point. He was no longer just a student, but a commentator. For years, he wrote commentaries on Aristotle. He analyzed every subject: logic, physics, metaphysics, ethics. In the West, they simply called him the commentator. No other name was needed because no one explained Aristotle better. But one day, Al-Ghazali's Incoherence of the Philosophers fell into his hands. As he read, his anger grew. Al-Ghazali had accused philosophers of heresy and declared reason the enemy of religion. Ibn Rushd had to respond. He worked for years and wrote The Incoherence of the Incoherence. He refuted each of Al-Ghazali's arguments one by one. Reason and religion were not enemies. On the contrary, they complemented each other, he said. Al-Ghazali had said, there are two truths in the world, the truth of reason and the truth of revelation. Ibn Rushd argued, truth is one, but can be reached through different paths. This was a revolutionary idea. He served as a judge. He dispensed justice in Córdoba and Seville. By day, he issued verdicts in court. By night, he wrote philosophy. He was both religious scholar and philosopher. He proved both could be combined. He also revolutionized medicine. He wrote his medical encyclopedia called The Generalities. He systematically described diseases, treatments, and medicines. Translated into Latin as collegiate, it was taught in European medical schools for centuries. His works were translated from Arabic into Latin. Translation schools in Toledo carried his books to Christian Europe. In Paris, Oxford, and Bologna, students learned Aristotle by reading Ibn Rushd's commentaries. Thomas Aquinas, Christianity's greatest philosopher, read Ibn Rushd's works and was influenced by him. In his effort to reconcile reason and religion, he followed Ibn Rushd's path. Islamic thought shaped Christian theology.
But in the Islamic world, hostility toward philosophy grew steadily. Fanatical jurists declared philosophers heretics. Ibn Rushd's books were burned. Defending reason became a crime. The Dark Ages were beginning. He was exiled to Marrakesh. He was old and weary now. Palaces and schools were left behind. His books had been taken from him, but the ideas in his mind were still alive. He had not been defeated. He died in December of 1198. He was buried in Marrakesh. Very few people attended his funeral. The Islamic world had forgotten him, but Europe did not forget. There, his star was rising. At the University of Paris, students were reading Averroes. At Oxford, professors quoted him in their lectures. When they said philosopher, Aristotle was meant. When they said commentator, Ibn Rushd was understood. Ideas never die. As the Renaissance began, European thinkers embraced Ibn Rushd's works. Reason and science rose again. The way out of the darkness of the Middle Ages was found in his writings. The debate between Ibn Rushd and Al-Ghazali continues still. Does reason or religion come first? Can the two be reconciled? These questions still await answers today, and both sides still defend their own truth. Although Ibn Rushd's books were burned during his lifetime, his ideas could not be destroyed. He sparked the Renaissance in Europe. He influenced Thomas Aquinas and Dante. He became one of the foundations of Western thought. The two scholars never met. Al-Ghazali died in 1111, Ibn Rushd in 1198. But their ideas influenced the Islamic world for centuries. The Al-Ghazali-Ibn Rushd debate wasn't just an intellectual clash. It was a turning point that determined the course of Islamic civilization. Reason or heart? philosophy, or mysticism. Al-Ghazali's views became more influential in the Islamic world. Philosophy receded, mysticism rose. Distance from reason became widespread. The Renaissance happened in Europe. Today, very few Muslims remember Ibn Rushd, but those who follow his path still exist. Every Muslim who tries to reconcile reason and science with their faith carries his legacy forward. Al-Ghazali taught us this: reason is not enough. Heart, soul, and spiritual experience also open the door to truth. Knowledge is not merely intellectual, but existential. Ibn Rushd taught us this: reason is not the enemy of religion. Together, they are stronger. We do not have to choose sides. We can both think and believe. Al-Ghazali and Ibn Rushd. Two giants, two paths, one civilization. Who was right? Perhaps this question has no single answer, but the debate itself proves thought's richness.
If you enjoyed this video, subscribing and sharing it with people who might love it would give us tremendous support. Moreover, on our channel, you can also watch the magnificent comparison of Al-Khwarizmi and Ibn Sina, as well as the unique stories of Omar Khayyam and Rumi. Don't forget to like and leave a comment. See you soon!